All right, lining everything up, checking everything out. What does Santa do? Checking it twice. Hi, Lumix. How are you doing? Oh, these are the sheets from last week. So I was a little bit late last week, so I figured we go a minute early this week so everybody would know he's really here. He's really here. Okay, so let's 4 seconds, and then we have the last show in June. Oh, that's the good thing. Next Friday is July 4th, and that means I'm taking the night off. I don't know if we're going out or if we're staying home, but I'm taking Friday night off, because if we go out, then I'll have to tell you. Then if we don't go out, then I'll be worried that I didn't tell you. So we'll just not. And it's Friday, July 4th, and you guys might be with family. So guess what? We won't do a show next Friday night. Now that's settled. Okay, meeting over, gavel. Boy, what happened in a week in this country is amazing. I'm not even going to list it. It's just kind of crazy. So we are live. The show has started. Welcome to Friday night. Let's make sure that I don't have the reverb on. Welcome to Friday night. I hope you all are doing all right. I just say a little welcome to you. Turn the reverb off and go, how you doing? Woody. Woody is not even talking to me. He's saying hi to Randy. So Woody is going, hi, Randy. Oh, look at that, the avatar. That's pretty cool. I like that, Woody. I like your avatar. So I'm saying hi to Woody. Love you. I'm so glad that you are here, giving me a thumbs up. In case you didn't. And then, oh, Randy is here and he's up. Good Lord. We need to make a toast to Randy, who cut his grass, who went out vlogging, went out in his car. We even went Tesla shopping, just in the dreams, okay? We wanted to share a shopping experience with Tesla. So Randy and I got on the Tesla site, and he likes the Model 3, which is a sedan. I like the Model Y, which they call it an SUV, but honestly, it really is more like a crossover, a CUV. And he likes his in sterling silver, and I like the sterling silver too. So I got to tell you, Randy's got a good color there. But seeing how I'm sitting in a Christmas room with a Christmas tree, and I love Christmas, and if I get another dog, probably going to call it Christmas. And go, hey, Chris. No, I'm not getting a dog. Don't get excited. I just talk sometimes, and that's what happens. But anyway, where was I? Oh, I like red. They call it ultra red, but to me it looks like a cherry red or candy apple red. Remember years ago, the fancy cars were candy apple red? Yeah, let me make sure. Did I turn off my little church? See, if I turn on the church, hear ye, hear ye, hear ye, the scripture shall be written. Well, it won't be written. It'll be recited. All right, so I did turn the church off. So here we go. Randy is saying, hello, everybody. How is your day doing? What did you do today, Randy? Actually, Woody, do you have an outing planned for tomorrow? Are you going on a picture hunt? Or what's going on in your life? We just say hello and I move on. And I really know all of you guys and love all of you guys. I love you being here. Even if you're mad at me, I love you being here, okay? So I want to know what's going on with you, Woody. And Randy's asking Woody, did you use any software to edit Oh, do you use any software to edit your photos? Good. That's something we can know, okay? And then we'll know what Woody does. And then Randy says, Peter, I did it. What did you did? I bought oh my God. You bought Final Cut Pro? Oh, I feel lessons coming up. I feel lessons coming up. So that's okay. That's what I'm here for. And anybody else that thinks that I'm not here for that, what else can I do for your life? I could send you a check for $1 million. But really, what would you do with $1 million? I mean, if I sent you a check for $1,000, you couldn't even use that. So I'm far better off being there to help you with Final Cut Pro. Or the new one that I like, which is Photomator. Not Picturemator, but Photomator. Okay, and that is what I use to do my pictures. And it's very much like Lightroom, but it's got its own little quirks, but it's a little more Apple-like. So I do very well with that. There was something major missing from it. Oh, when I'm going through pictures, so let's see if I bring it up. Let's see if that would cause an amazing catastrophe here. I have to find it first. Oh, doesn't look like that. Looks like that. All right, so I opened it up, and the pictures came up that I have been working on. Okay, so let's see what this is so I don't show something that I'm not supposed to show. Okay, birds. Birds are pretty safe, right? All right, so let's see if I can actually go and bring that up in Final Cut. Not Final Cut. We're not on Final Cut. Okay, on Ecamm. So if I come over to Ecamm and I come down to my desktop, well, you're going to be as surprised as me. Okay, we'll find out what exactly comes up. And click it. There it is. You can see it, and I'm even in a bubble. Lewis is, Mr. Camera Junkie is the one to thank for that. He set that up for me. He knows what he's doing. Okay, so if I go over to, let's make sure my microphone's working, because I've done this before, and the microphone wasn't working. Okay, all right, so these would be, let's start from left, and I've got this set up. See over here where it says Files? I hope you guys can see the mouse. So I have a choice of looking at this as Files or as Photos. So if I go to Photos, this has got a lot of photos. So I made a hot dog and ham sandwich over here on the bottom right. This is the pool. So it's got my pictures. But I don't like to work with photos. I like to put all my photos in a folder, okay, and then work on that folder. So now over here, I have a folder called Pictures Peter Took. So guess what would be in there? I give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count. Okay, so it's pictures that I took, and that's the main mother folder. Okay, and then inside of that folder, I have another folder called 2025 Pictures. Okay, so when I bring photos in from my SD card, I go to 2025 Pictures, not here, but in my Finder, or what do you call it in Windows? Well, this won't work in Windows, so it doesn't matter. Explorer is what you call it, though. So I will open up, and I started something that I didn't used to do. I used to just put a name, all right, like selling the ZV-E1. I could show you that. That's the pictures that I took, right? So I made a folder, and I put the pictures that I took in here, okay? So this would be the first picture, second picture, all the way around. All right. So now if I actually double click the first picture with my mouse, you guys know how to do that, right? If I double click it, all right, so it's going to open up the picture. All right, so that looks a little bit fuzzy to me. All right, but I get this film strip along the bottom. And the next picture, if I click on it, is the next picture. Okay, so see, look back to the bottom again. Hello, hello, hello. Go back to the bottom. See my mouse over there? Woo, boom. See the little red flag? Okay. Now, it's probably good for you, but it's bad for me. It's hard for me to see this because I normally look at this when I'm like right up on top. All right. So I have a red flag here, which means I want to use this picture. Now, the next one doesn't have a red flag. Okay. So if I click on the next one, there's no, oh yeah, no, it doesn't have a red flag. And if I click the one before it, it doesn't have a red flag either. So when I put these pictures up on Facebook Marketplace, the ones with the red flag, which would be the next one, would be this one. Okay. So this is the ZVE one with the battery, the box, the poofy windscreen. There's the box in the background. And there's the strap. And the poofy windscreen sits in the hot shoe, and I actually have the little thing that goes in it. So the next picture that I did was over here. Okay. So now I'm looking at this picture. What do I do next? I go to the right. All right. So the two things, not two things. Well, the first thing I can do, I've already done it on this one. So let's go to the next one so I don't mess up that one. Okay. I can go over here and I can hit the very first icon. Can you see my mouse? Does that show up? I think the mouse shows up. All right. So this one is a magic wand. If I click it, it actually does the automatic corrections. Don't have to look at anything. Don't have to do anything. Take it or leave it. It's what Apple does. So this is Photomator. Okay, upper left-hand corner of my entire screen. I don't know if you can see that, but it says Photomator. Not Pixelmator, two different programs. Okay. Now, if I want to fix a dot, let's say there's a spot on here somewhere. Okay. So I double clicked it to make it bigger. Now I can move around. I did a pretty good job on dust on this one. Okay. Here's a black dot. Lo and behold, thank you for the black dot. All right. I'm going to go to the second one where the Band-Aid is. And I'm going to click on the Band-Aid, and then I'm going to go and click on that black dot. And then, okay, here's a good question. How do I get out? Oh, let's see if I click the Band-Aid again. All right, it'll take me out. So if I come back here, the black dot is gone, but there's another spot right here. Okay, so I can go around picking out all those spots. But that is one of the important parts of the program. All right. This one here, I'm not sure what it does. Oh, this is a clone tool. All right. So the healing tool, which is this one, it's called healing tool in Lightroom, but over here it's called repair tool. And over here it's called the clone tool. So if I wanted to clone this white area here over this A for alpha, I could clone the white and then put it over here, which I'm not going to do. Okay. But what I can do is I click on the next one, and this is, guess, this is where I crop. Okay. So I bring the crop in. I move this around. I come back over here. And voila, it's cropped. Okay, so if I go back over here, there normally is, see, I'm at a disadvantage because I can't actually see very well right now the little words because of my glasses, but there should be a way to cancel this crop. Okay, so let's go out here. Nope. Let's see if I double click. All right, so if I stay in here, I can move the picture around. But in Lightroom, I could just get rid of the crop. Okay, I don't know, maybe revert to original. All right, so it brought it back to the original, and that's what we got here. So now we'll go back, and now I can come back to the crop tool, and that's what I got. So apparently I have already cropped this one. That's what's happening. All right, but the idea is you need to find where the basic tools are. Then it becomes part of you. Okay, so now I'm going to turn off the crop tool, and this is the picture that we would normally see. Now the next one over is where all the magic happens. Now over here you have your exposures, highlights, shadows, all the stuff that you're used to changing. Okay, the saturation. So if I bring the saturation down this way, it's a lot lighter. Now in Lightroom, if I double click the saturation, it'll reset it back to the center. So the same thing happens here. Okay, contrast. If I move it to the right, most people would move the contrast up and down. Okay, I like to move the contrast down, which most people want to move the contrast up. All right, so I'm going to move the contrast down. Then the black point, I'm going to raise that up, which is going to make only the blacks. Okay, if I raise it up a little bit, okay, and then you've got texture, which is this slider, and it technically makes it sharper and less sharp. Okay, which on most pictures it does a good job, but on faces you don't want to add too much texture. And then clarity does the same thing, but it handles the mid-tone contrast. That's what clarity does. All right. So to bring this back, I double-click here. I double-click here. I double-click here. Okay. And then I come here. I turn. Now this is one of the negatives that I want them to fix. Okay. Now, as long as I'm in the area, and you got all these things down here, so you got hundreds and thousands of things. So let's say one of the cool things that a lot of people do not use, but I do, is I turn the vignette on. Okay. Now you've got a vignette that goes with the blacks around, which kind of puts a focus to the center of the image. And then you go the other way, and it adds white around the edges. Okay. So that is two ways of working vignette. Okay, so now the way I would work vignette is I would add just a little bit. Okay, so it kind of focuses your eyes to the center of this picture. Okay, now when I'm done, okay, so this is what I was going to complain about. All right, so down here, these are filters. If I click this, okay, it's going to add these different looks for me automatically. Okay, if I click this, it's going to add all these looks automatically. So look, this one's adding more reds. This one's adding, that's pretty neutral. Okay, so these are filters. Okay, and it's what's it labeled? It's labeled classic films. Okay, so this is going to give me different film looks. All right. If I hover over it, it just says number 5, so it's not telling me what the film look is. I'd like it to tell me what the film look is. Okay, so as I go through those, all right, so if I close this one, let's see what CN does. Okay, so CN, if I hover over it, it probably will tell me. Cinematic, all right, so let's click on this one. That's one. These are cinematic looks. So you see that everything on the right is changing. So this is kind of like a preset. Okay. So each one of these is presets, and I have all this at the bottom. And I can even turn this into a black and white picture, and I've got all of these different, like that would be like a red filter, a blue filter. I kind of like that. Dang, it took the blue right out. That made the blue, the background is blue is why I'm saying blue, okay? It turned that into a gray, okay? So this turned it to a different kind of gray and into a lighter gray and black and white, okay? And let's see what C does. I was hoping, it's probably custom, but I was hoping to, yeah, that would be my own custom preset. Okay, so that's what these things do. Now, the problem is I want an easy way to go to the next picture. Okay, so there is an easy way. I've discovered this by accident. And that would be the right arrow on your keyboard. I'm not sure, but I think the right arrow on the keyboard at this point, nope, it's not doing that. Okay. I'm hitting the right arrow, so the arrows are not doing anything. All right, so to get out of this, I have to go all the way back to the top and turn off all of these by clicking this one icon at the top. And then suddenly I get my picture back. Now, if I go to the next picture, I'm starting all over. If I go back one picture, I'm starting all over here. Okay, so this is what they call a film strip view. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to go click on the back button. All right, now I want to do something more interesting than pictures of a camera. Where is, all right, here's some of the birds. Okay, so this is much more interesting. Woody probably would even like that. Okay, so if I click on this picture, I can actually come over here and I can go and go through these. This is where you add your flags, subtract your flags. You can go to edit one photo. Okay, you can open the edit tools and so on and so forth. All right, so if I double click on this guy, this brings me this picture, and then I have all the film strip down at the bottom. Okay, now if the first thing that I do here, and it's, let's go to revert to the original on this. Okay, make sure I'm highlighted. So apparently, yeah, I haven't done anything to this picture. Okay, so this is straight out of the camera. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is click the automatic. Now that the computer handled it, or Apple, they did that. I turn it on and off. That's Apple's rendition of this picture. This is the way it came out of the, this would be the Sony camera with the lens that Randy sent me. Okay. Sorry, I had to take a little sip of water. Okay. All right, so let's start looking at individual items. Look at the blue water, and when I turn on the instant, okay, it changes the blue water deeper and more yellows. So now let's look down here where the greens are. Okay, turn on the auto fix. What do they call that? Oh, machine learning. Okay, so this automatically enhances the photo, and ML stands for machine learning. So it does use AI. So this is the way that the computer would like to fix this. So let's say, well, I don't want it exactly like that, but I'm going to leave it on. Okay, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to see what it did. So I'm going to turn off the auto fix. You notice how all of these sliders to the right have gone back to their 0 point. See over here, 0, 0, 0, 0. But if I click and engage the computer machine learning, all right, it upped the shadows, it downed my brightness, okay, it downed the contrast. Remember what I said? I like to lower the contrast. Well, good for you, Apple. You do the same. So we could look at all of this stuff and we could see that it added vibrance down here, so on and so forth. Now, we're free to move about the cabin. So let's say I like this one, but I'd like it a little brighter. I can change the exposure by using this slider, or I can double click and move it back. Okay. Now, I'll show you what I do. I'm going to get a little bit too advanced for you right now, but I'm just going to show you for the heck of it. Okay. I like to take a picture, and in my mind, the focus point of this picture is this bird. So far, we can't argue, correct? That's the reason I took the picture. So if I go to the image layer, okay, and I add an image layer, okay, I went to the top, okay, see where it says image layer? I'm going to click on that. And now I'm going to click on the plus, and I'm going to add an image layer. And I have these different types of layers that I can add. So I'm going to select the subject, and let's see what it does. Sometimes it does it perfectly, like that time. Thank you, Jesus. It didn't embarrass me. It picked the bird. Okay. So if I leave the bird on, okay, I will be able to adjust the bird. All right. And also I have an intensity here, and I'll show you what that means in a second. All right. So if I click out here, as soon as I start making any kind of a movement here, the bird is going to go back to normal, but I will be adjusting the exposure only on the bird. Okay, so I'll take it all the way up and blow out the bird. It's up 200%. Okay, I'll bring it back to where the center is, and now I'll darken the bird. Okay, so now what I would do is I would go back over here, and I'd come back over here, and since I can't read this too well, I want to come to the image layer and do something that it's not helping me to do right now. Okay, I'm going to leave this image layer alone. I'm going to add another one. Okay, and this is how I really work. That I was just showing you stuff. So I'm going to select the background now, meaning I'm going to leave the bird alone. And now the bird was left alone, and everything else in red, pink, or whatever you call it has been selected. Now this is how I make the bird stand out. I leave the bird alone, but I start to darken the background just a little bit. So now it looks like there's more light on the bird because it's only the background that I've selected. I can actually reduce or increase the saturation on the background alone. Doesn't touch the bird. So now I'm reducing the saturation on the bird. Okay, see where I'm doing the slider? Or I'm sorry, on the background. Or I'm increasing the saturation, or I'm putting it back to normal. All right. So now I have actually lowered the exposure on the background. I'm also going to lower the contrast on the background. Now you notice how I'm working just a little bit, okay? And then I'm going to come back over here to the layers, and I'm going to go back to the subject, okay? And now I'm going to raise the exposure just a little tiny bit. Oh, when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit, okay? So now I've raised the exposure on the bird, and I've lowered the exposure all the way around, and it's as if I knew what I was doing all along. I got the bird in just the right lighting. How did you do that, Peter? It all happens in your editor. Okay, that's a secret that most people are not going to tell you. Now, when they don't do this correctly, okay, it will be very obvious. All right. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come down and I'm going to add just the slightest bit of clarity to the bird, which is going to act like I'm sharpening the bird. Okay. And I'm glad you mentioned it because I'm going to go down here all the way to the bottom because I happen to know it's down here, and I'm going to turn on the sharpening. Okay. Now I've done all of that to the subject up at the top. Now, if I wanted to, I can come back to the subject, come back to the background, and do the opposite. Okay, so I'm going to come into this area, all right, and I'm going to, not going to sharpen, I'm going to try to find where the clarity and all that stuff is. It's up here. So I'm going to lower the text. Now remember, I'm working only on the background, okay? I'm going to lower the texture on the background, which is going to smooth it. And I'm going to lower the clarity on the background. Now you notice I'm doing very little, only 12%. So what I've actually done is I've taken any bite out of the background out of this picture. Okay? And now that I've done that, I'm going to come up over here, and now I'm going to crop just a little bit, and then I'm going to move the bird so that it is sitting more with its head right on the rule of thirds. See, these are the rule of thirds, these grid marks. I'm going to move it back a little bit this way. Okay. Now, if I wanted to be more dramatic, I can make this significantly smaller, okay, and put the bird more to the left, which gives it a movement like the bird's ready to walk away, okay? Remember, when you put something to the left, it's walking out of the frame. When you put something to the right, it's walking into the frame. So now what I've done is I've color balanced the whole picture. I've darkened the background. I've made the bird just a little bit brighter, and the reason why I'm saying a little bit so pointed is, see, there's sunlight hitting the bird. I'll blow that out. So if I raise that up, the bird is sitting under one of the shadow of the beams of the screening, so his body is gray. But look at his head. His head is like not in that beam. Okay, it's actually a pretty good spot, but you could see it on the concrete underneath. That it is, you could see the light beam on the concrete where you see the sun in one part and you see shade in the other part. So the bird's head is higher than the body, so its head is in the sun. So it's a good spot. I didn't do that on purpose, I promise, but that's really good photography. Okay. Now, the next thing that I would do if I was going to try to make this for some kind of an important feature is I would come in here where the healing tool is, all right, and I would come in here and I would kind of like paint over the poop. You didn't see that, did you, huh? This is why you've got to be, and it disappeared the poop. So we don't have a little bit of bird poop, okay? So that is something that you start to pay attention to. Now, this brush has different, you can change the size. Come down here, you can make it bigger. So if I wanted to fix something in this big area, I don't want such a small brush, okay? And the brackets on your keyboard will change the size also. Then I will turn this off. And we have something that we could, you know, give it a star or something, and we can click done. And it's right back over here. And I could turn the flag on, or I could give it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 stars. Okay? So we have just done that with a bird. Now, if I actually had a person, we could do the same thing with the person. So one of these days we'll get a person that I can do, and I'll show you how we clean up the face and all kind of stuff like that. Okay? So now that I bored you people to no end, we'll come back over to me. There I be. Okay? So was that fun or not fun? Now that's Photo Mater. Photo and M-A-T-E-R, like the movie Mater. Okay, so where did I leave off here? Boy, did I get into a little side road there. But we can center on photography. It's okay. So Randy he bought Final Cut Pro. That's so exciting to me. I'm so happy because I think you're going to take another giant step forward. And if you want to spend some time, you can connect up with my computer, or I could look at your computer, and I could just show you some basic 1, 2, 3s to do real quick at the beginning, because you're the kind of guy that's going to dig deep. But right off the bat, trimming off the beginning and trimming off the end, cutting out pieces of the middle that don't belong there, and having actual fades between the different clips, that's your basic editing. Okay, so then you could do things like speeding it up, Like when I cook, many times I will ramp up something that would take 3 minutes, and I want to bring it down into it being just into like 30 seconds, because they don't need to see all that. All right. So I'm so happy, Randy. It's a personal happiness I feel. Clean up noise, freckles, spots. Yes, we will do that. Oh, I'm glad I did the bird. You know why? Because Woody is into birds. So I just showed you how I made a bird pop out, sharpened the bird. But my guess is Woody knows how to do all that. But I don't know what everybody knows. I guess we'll have to dig into it. So Woody says, Randy, I use the NX Studio 95% of the time and raw therapy for the rest if I need it. Okay, that's cool. And Randy's giving him a thumbs up. Hal's here. How you doing, Hal? Love you, buddy. I'm so glad you're here. Let me make sure my echo's not. I started to sing and I thought, oh my God, I didn't give that whole freaking lesson with my echo on, did I? No, I didn't. So, getting back to the pictures, one quick second. And with me, there's no one quick second, okay? When you take a picture, there's a very big difference between a picture that's taken on a professional level, and when I say a pro level, that doesn't mean you have to be a professional photographer. What that means is you've got a professional mindset. And the big difference is between a picture and a snapshot. Most people take snapshots. And I do too. But the point is to learn how to take a snapshot and turn it into a picture that I don't want to say is suitable for framing, but almost. The ones that you want to show off, like Randy's gotten into the this printer thing, and I've been looking at the printers, Randy, and there's one called something from Canon 1500, but if you can buy a 1300 for cheap, it's pretty good. It prints a 4x6 on a sticky, but it prints it in gloss, and you don't have to remove the sticky. I forgot what it is. And the one that you have is 3x4, I think, which is smaller. So I've been looking at that, and it's nice to put a couple of, or a handful or 1,000 of your pictures up and around on the wall. And there's a number of different ways. You can get like a poster board that's got like a sticky feel to it. And you could just print out 4x6 pictures. They're not very big. A 4x6 picture. Clean it up. It's got dust on it. Okay, so that's a 4x6. It's a picture of a piece of cake. Oh, I took the, I used the A7C Mark II and I didn't plug in the overhead. Otherwise, I'd do that and you could see the picture. Okay, so what camera am I on? I'm over here. All right, so that's a 4x6. Now, if I have a poster board that's sticky, I could just put that here, put another one here, put one here, and I can just peel it off anytime I want. And I can get a few of those boards. You know, the hallway to your bedroom is a great place to put sticky poster boards, and you could put 4x6 pictures. One could be like in Woody's case. He loves his wife, but she's in heaven. But as he finds new pictures of her, he can print out a 4x6 and stick it on the Pam board. That's his wife's name. Okay, and little by little, you start to enjoy your photography, and you go down the hallway, and the next thing you know, you're gonna go like, I need more light in this hallway. I want to see my pictures a little bit better, and you know. People think they need really big pictures, and they don't. They just need a place to display them. So if you're going to take each print and it needs to go into a frame, and then you need to hang it and measure and make sure it's straight, that's one thing, okay? But another thing is to get, I call it a poster, and they make them where the surface is sticky. So you just put like a 4x6, and stick it on. But you're not going to run down to Walgreens or CVS and print out a 4x6. So one of these little printers that basically makes the pictures for you, go to Randall Brander, and he actually showed you his new printer. That would work terrific. You take all, he's got his dog, he's got Wanda as his dog, his cat is Dusty. Then he had Buddy. Buddy's no longer with us, but if he sees a great picture of Buddy, print it out and put it on that memory board. And you can even start organizing your memory boards, where one could be family, one could be places I went, or you could just make hodgepodge. And you'll just stand there sometimes enjoying the memories of your life, because that's what the pictures do. And it becomes therapeutic. Okay? So I remember when I went there with my brother, or I went there with Jingle. Oh, look at Jingles. I remember I had him in the bath, and I print that picture out and I put it on a board. I could have a whole board with just pictures of Jingle Bells. Now, the way you organize your board will be in whatever's in your mind. Like Sly, I would guess that she would have a board strictly of her grandson. That's the light of her life. Her grandson, she loves him. Okay, and she had a poster board, and she gets clips or gets pictures, and she prints it out. And before you know it, I remember I think he's 40 years old now, but when he was, I would say 3, 4, 5 years old, he always is this kid that you don't know. But in a Greek family, their children become your children. So as soon as I walked in the door, okay, this boy wanted to be picked up. So I would pick him up, and he just liked for me to talk to him. But then sometime in that time, it clicked in my mind, and at his house, okay, I started walking around and looking at all the pictures that his mom put on the wall. And I would go and hold him up, like this. And he's only 3, 4, 5 years old. And I would say, "Who's that?" And he'd look, and then he'd say the name of the person. And then I'd go to another picture, and I go, "That's Mommy and Daddy." And he'd laugh and this and that. I did that once or twice. Okay. And you know what? The next time I went to his house, pick me up. And I picked him up, and he pointed. He wanted to do a tour of the pictures in the house. So the pictures come alive. Now, what we just did together on one bird, okay, is how you massage and work these pictures. And you start looking at different people, and maybe I need to start doing it a little bit more often, because that's probably the first time I ever did it, okay, showing how do I fix this picture, and just go through the process of fixing up that picture. And, what do you do when it's fixed? It stays in my computer. That's why I'm excited about this printer, because I used to have printers, but they were giant. That's why I have these big pictures around my house. But these little pictures that I'm taking now, especially family, or if I go out, I'd like to have a 4x6 I could slap on the wall. So I'm going to look on Amazon, and I might put into practice what I'm talking about, where I can start filling a poster board, either topics, or the first one will generally be, will be a general collage. And when I fill it up enough and I'm ready to put up the next poster board, and you could put it up landscape or portrait, and fill up your board. All right, let's get back to the important people here. I said hi to Hal, and then hi, Mr. Camera Junkie. How are you doing? Let's remember, next week is actually the 4th is on Friday. Peter will be either floating in the pool, or going out, or having ice cream, or something. So I'm not doing a show is the bottom line for next week. Okay? So you watch Mr. Camera Junkie on Saturday. You watch Sly on Tuesday. You watch Randy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You watch Carlos. All of us that have channels. I'm not going to leave anybody out, although I just did. Okay? So that's what we'll do. But next Friday, I'm going to have the day off. And I shouldn't call it the day off because this is not work. I actually look forward all week to coming to be here because during the week, some people get mad at me and I want to see other people and say hello because I'm not mad at anybody. Okay? Look who... I'm mad at Lewis. Lewis, I understand, came right down here to Fort Lauderdale and he didn't come to see me. So, Lewis, now I'm mad at you. You need to come here so I give you a big hug. No, he didn't come down here. He's sitting there going like, what? What? When did I go? I didn't go there. Peter, I promise. I know you didn't. I'd see if you're awake. Okay. Hi, Lewis. I love you, buddy. So, and look at that. I get a heart right back. See how quick Lewis is? Woody says, hi, Peter. We are past halfway to Christmas. So if you take the first 6 months, what is that? January, February, March, April, May, June. June. So that would be the 6 months halfway mark, like Woody just said, of the year. So if that was the whole year, what would be Christmas Day? Christmas Day would be 2 days ago. It would be June 25th, which was 2 days ago. So happy day after Christmas for June. Now, the marketing people make Christmas in July because of sales, but the calendar has 12 months, and if you divide it in half, it's 2 sets of 12. So the first set's of 12, the 25th of the last month is June 25th. The second set of 6, okay, is the last month, which would be December, and the 25th of December, which is Christmas for the whole year. But in the dual half and half calendar, Christmas just passed for the first half of the year. Okay, so the first 6 months is about to end. When does the first, by the way? So if the 4th is on Friday, if you go back 4 days from Friday, it would be Tuesday, right? Let me check. How are you going to check, Peter? I'm going to click on calendar. And I'm going to look on the calendar. The 1st is on Tuesday. I was right. Yay. So that is the 1st of the month is Tuesday. So happy July on Tuesday. So Sly will be the first one to broadcast in July. Not Peter, not anybody else but Sly. Live broadcast. Okay? Because he's the first one of the hour. I mean, I think he's got 2,000, 3,000, 7,000, 14,000 videos. When I grow up, I want to be like Randy. How's that in that aspect? So Woody's the one that recognized. And here's Bob. I just saw you. Where did I see you? Oh, I was looking on my Facebook because I got the camera up for sale. And I saw you had made a post. But what was your post about? And I was going to comment and I didn't. Sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry. Happy Peter. Oh, hi, Peter. Happy Friday. It's been a busy week. Yeah, we've done a few things. We've removed a nuclear threat. So if somebody gets a hair up their aspirin or ankle, they don't bomb Miami with a nuclear bomb. That's gone for the moment. Okay. And they're the most erratic. You know, there's no logic to the thinking that's going on in that country. And I'm not picking on the people. I think the people themselves want to be free. It's the government that's a radical government. Okay. They had a much more stabilized government when they had the Shah of Iran. It was actually a democracy. You had a little copy of the United States. And then you had these fanatical people that came up and introduced what they want to do here. No, not going to happen. Okay? And that's why this country is armed. All right. So, yes, we have had a very busy Bluebeard. We've had a very busy week. So Lewis is saying, hello, my dear friends. What did you do this week, Lewis? Don't just say hello. Come on, give me a little bit of news as to what's happening in Canada. And Woody said, Peter, son-in-law's birthday is July 4th. So I will be with the family, and I haven't taken a photo in about a month. Wow, that's a pretty big thing for you, Woody, because the camera is basically extends from your hand. But I bet if you don't take another picture, you could fill up 4 or 5 of those picture boards in the hallway going down to your bedroom or wherever it's convenient for your house. And the purpose I brought that up, honestly, it's for the enjoyment of all of us so that we can enjoy the fruits of our cameras. You know, Norm is up next. Hi, Norm. Nice winter Sony. Now, that's how they dealt with the overheating problem. Wintertime. Sony is So New York. S-O-N-Y. Dum, da-da-dum, bum, bum. Okay. So, yep, for you too, Norm. You got the kids coming over Friday nights. You kill a chicken, okay? But you share some time with the kids. I bet you have hundreds, if not thousands, of pictures that you could print out 3x5s or 4x6s, depending on whatever little printer you buy, and you could fill up those memory boards, photo boards. I think it's better called photo boards. Photo memory boards. Memory photo boards. Blah, whatever it is. All right, so anyway, that's how we can actually activate our cameras for our own personal enjoyment. The other way is what we're doing here. Getting in front of the camera and, making videos, making friends online. So, love you, Woody. Love you, Norm. Here's Jim. Love you, Jim. Hey, Peter and all. Happy Friday. I thought you almost got a phone call today. You almost got a phone call today, but instead I accidentally hooked up with somebody that was 8 years old when he was in my Sunday school class. And I had Sunday school class at the church. And out of nowhere, God said, I want you to pray for that boy every day. He was 8 years old. And then he kind of disappeared from view. I hadn't seen him or heard from him for 10 years. And yet I'm praying for him every single day by name. Okay? And one day when I was at my shop, he walks in. My jaw dropped down to the ground. And knowing Peter, our conversation turned to a spiritual conversation. And before he left, he became what Norm is called in the Christian world, a born-again Christian. We prayed and he received Jesus as his Yeshua, okay, as his Lord and Savior. And this was at 18 years old when I had been praying for him since he was 8. I didn't even see him in church. But out of nowhere, how did he even know where my business was? And he could have had an interest in Jesus, and somebody else could have led him to the Lord. But I wound up doing it. And then from there, the story gets even better, and I'm not even going to explain that. Okay? But that is why you didn't get a call, Jim, because I saw him on Facebook. I said, I wonder if his phone number changed. And I picked up my phone, and I said, call Harry on my speaker. And kaboom. He answered the phone. Not only did he answer the phone, I don't think I've spoken to him since before my parents died, which would be, my mom died in 2011. So what is that? 15? 18? That many years? A lot. And he said, hi, Peter. See, when you impact somebody's life, it stays. It stays, okay? And we talked for over an hour. And I had to give him a warning, like I give you guys warnings when I get you on the phone. I talk a lot, okay? So, anyway, Jim, I was saying hi. Love you, Jim. Woody was saying, how was the train in D.C.? Oh, I saw that post too. It says Jim Monday is in the Washington, D.C. terminal or something like that. It was giving your whereabouts. And that's why I almost called you later on. Okay, so Jim says to Woody, it was a great trip. Train was fine. Usual delays. Stayed in Old Town and worked in D.C. Exhausted but grateful. So Jim said, what app is this? I was showing a program like Lightroom, but it's owned by Apple, and it's called Photo Mater. Photo Mater, Mater. And I don't have it to photo mode. I have it to file mode because I organize all my pictures by a file. And I started to explain that. So I'll put like today's date, which is June 27th, pictures in my backyard. Okay. And then I can always see pictures in my backyard, but I can also see the date, but they're organized in terms of date. Then I click on that folder and I dump all the pictures that I did for that topic in that folder. Now, the date is not necessarily the date I took the pictures. The date is when I made the folder, and then I put a description of what's in the folder, because it could be something from quite a period of time. Okay, something that was 4 or 5 days, a couple of weeks, but whatever's in that. So if I put June 27th, pictures of Jim Monday, or Jim Monday, okay, or Jim Monday in Miami when you come. All right, so that would be pictures that I would have of you, and it would go in that folder. And it's not necessarily restricted to that date. I'm telling you it's in my mind so that you can organize the way that you do the pictures. And here is my grandson, subcultured outcast. Hi, Grandpa Pete. What app is this? Oh, this is one you should buy. Yeah, well, no. You're on Windows now. Did you leave the Mac and go to Windows? No, that was Randy, but he didn't leave the Mac. All right, anyway, it's Photo Mater, and it's an Apple Mac. It's an Apple program like Final Cut Pro is an Apple program. And they just purchased it recently, okay? It didn't start off with them, but they just purchased it, so now it's part of their stable. So if they go to a subscription service, like to mimic Photoshop or something, I bought mine. It's $129, and if you download the trial, they'll start offering it to you for $79. So I had gotten paid for something, and I had the money, and I bought it. And I'm glad, because I have, years ago, I bought AC/DC. I don't use it very much. It's a nice program, but I just don't use it. I always revert back to Photoshop. This is the first time I've taken pictures for about a couple of months now, and I have not reverted back to Photoshop. Okay? And I'm still learning about the program, because there's certain things that are not obvious. Okay, like it took me forever to figure out how to get back to that film strip view. You got to go up in the upper right-hand corner and turn off all the little things, the color and the sliders, the exposure and all that, and then you get your film strip view back again. Film strip view is one of the most powerful parts of the program. That's how you can fly through your pictures, mark them with the stars you want or just the red flag. Then you go back to the whole library for that folder. You tell it bring up only the pictures that have flags. Okay, you export them into a new folder inside that same folder, like June 27th, pictures of Jim Monday. So if I have 300 pictures in there and I picked 17, okay, that are flagged, I would take those 17, and my wording is processed. These are pictures I have processed, and I've actually added to that by processed full size and processed web size. So when I export processed web size, it means these pictures have been processed by what I just did with that bird, okay? And after that, when I export them, they're little, they're really small, Okay. And then I can do the same thing by exporting them where they're JPEGs and they are actually full size, so they're not trimmed down. Okay, and there's a big difference in the file size. So if I was going to text one to Randy or text one to Jim or Gregory, hi Gregory, I'll say hi to you in a second, or a picture to Kyle or something, I'm not going to send the full size JPEG. It's gonna muck everything up. So I would send the web size. Okay, and you have that control when you export your pictures. Do you want a 100%? Mine is yes, and I would put processed full size, and I would put them all in a new folder inside of the folder that says June 27th, Jim Monday. And then if I do the same pictures, because they're all flagged, just pick them all again. Export them. I can export them 75% of the size, 50% of the size, or 25% of the size. So I do 25% of the size, and those fly all over the place. I'll send one to here. If I have a picture I want to share with Sly, I just attach it, goes, or to Randy, or whoever it is that I want to text a picture to. It's going to be the 25% size. Okay, so this is Kyle. And what app is this? Okay, I think I explained that. I think I'm going to do another show or two, maybe not the next one, again on that. I enjoyed doing that lesson, but I need to hear like, no, Peter, that was boring. Don't do that again. Okay, so in that case, I'll just make a video. Oh, that reminds me. First of all, there will be no show next Friday. It's July 4th. So next Friday, Peter has playtime to himself, okay? Then the Friday after that, I'll be back. But you know, this channel that you're watching, Peter Gregg Live, it's the Friday night show live, and the rest of the week, it's dormant. It doesn't do anything. I might just start doing haphazard videos and putting them up there. Because who am I going to get mad? You guys? I'm explaining to you right now. I might do something on my washing routine, how I mix my soaps for my washer. Record it and put it on Peter Gregg Live. This is the Peter Gregg Live channel, right? That doesn't show me what... I wish it would. Okay. So I'm thinking of just activating it as things that go on in my life. When I make a video, like Randy did a video and he just mowed his lawn, he puts it on his channel. I mowed my lawn. If he takes pictures of the birds in the bird bath in the front, he puts the pictures up there. If he drives down around San Antonio or somewhere, if he takes a ride in the Tesla, hint, hint, so I can get an idea how it feels from somebody that I know, how they think, and he makes a video, he puts it on his channel. So I'm going to start doing that. If anybody gets mad at me, just don't watch that video. It's as simple as that. Because there's only us. That's it. So I could start using that. I'm afraid to do that on the big channel. I think that the people are going to leave because the big channel is mostly about cameras, lenses, photography, stuff like that. And if suddenly they see how to make your dishwasher wash perfectly, how to sanitize your clothes in your washer, okay? Because I just changed my whole routine for sanitizing my clothes because Marlon, who's in here, has gotten, what is that skin stuff that you get? Shingles. Okay, so I'm sanitizing the clothes. I don't want shingles. And I went on a hunt. And I'm happy with the way I was doing it, but now I'm really solidly happy. I'm going to make a video. Where do I put it? I'm putting it on this channel. So if anyone has anything negative to say, tell me here, because I don't see a negative aspect to it. So let's say you don't want to watch any of those, you don't watch any of the videos, and you just come join me on Friday Night Live. I think it's a win-win. I get another outlet where I can make all kinds of videos about anything that I want, not any particular topic. If it's something that I cooked, I probably will put it on the kitchen channel, okay? If it's something pertaining to photography, I could put it on both because the people that are here Okay, let's reverse it. The people that are on the big channel, my photography channel, Peter Gregg, they don't know about this channel. They would have to really dig a little bit deeper to come and to find this. So Gregory's here. Love you, Gregory. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, I was going to say something, and it's no longer in my brain. So, love you, buddy. How's everything going? Probably wasn't that important anyway. So, Randy, I bought this program also, Photomator, and following your quick lesson. Oh, you did buy Photomator. Okay. So, Photomator was the right one, because what's the difference, between Photomator and Pixelmator? They're both, the whole company was bought out by Apple. Okay. So that means they're going to be very solid, and they're going to be around for a while. And if they follow the way they've done things in the past, it'll be, you buy it once and you own it. Okay. So I bought Final Cut Pro in 2017, and it's 2025. Every update has been free from 2017 all the way till now. So I'm hoping Photomator is going to follow the same thing. So Randy, you just saw a kind of an introduction. If I had you in mind, I probably would have showed a little bit different, but it was an honest thing. That's the best thing I could do. I was thinking of Woody. That's what I was thinking, because I know that he does a lot of the pictures. So Kyle is Subcultured Outcast. Love you, Kyle, just so you know, okay? And he's saying Peter Mater. Yeah, what we were watching was Peter Mater. Absolutely, positively. And here's Jeff Mater. Magic moment. Good day, Peter and all. How are we doing? Wonderful. So remember, Jeff, next Friday I'm not going to be here, so don't get upset. Okay, but your trip is coming up. We're getting to the middle of the summer. I'm not staying as I'm out with the family, but we'll watch later when I have a free moment. And that's why these are up there. You can lay down at 3 in the morning and watch them. And since I don't move, you know, unless I'm showing you something like I did tonight, you don't really have to watch. You can just listen. So, hello, everybody. The batteries are on the charger. That means Eric is warming up. His engines are heating up. Okay. Have been to D.C. plenty of times. Haven't been there in 20 years. Probably things have changed. Maybe a little bit. And love you, Eric. Thank you for coming in and making a comment rather than just sitting there. And if you guys are watching and you haven't given a thumbs up, do that. That's like a pat on my shoulder. We're very nice. Betty nice. Norm, more than 50 years of shooting for magazines. Oh, my God. You have to nail the picture straight out of the camera when shooting transparency film. Ain't that the truth? Preach it, brother. In digital, I shoot photo RGB settings, editing 1,000 raw shots. Are you doing it right now? What are you doing it in? Lightroom, probably? You could do this a similar thing with the Photomator, but I once you know the program, stay with what you know. Yes. Okay. Eric says, I'm from Alexandria, Virginia, across the river from D.C., Washington. Or, right, Washington, D.C. Pop, 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 pop. You bought the band AC/DC. AC/DC. What songs do they do? No, didn't buy the band. Oh, I was in a rant today. Oh, my God. These people were showing how to put... Do you know what a mini split duct air conditioning system is? The answer is simple, yes or no. Okay, so the mini split is where they put the one unit on the wall, and then they got like tubes that goes through the wall, and that goes out to the unit that sits outside somewhere. Okay, so this guy was like heralding the praises of it. And you know what? They're excellent, but just as excellent as they are, they also suck. And the reason that they suck is after, especially in a like a climate like we have, give it a year to 2 years. There's a squirrel cage fan that goes like this, and it's about that long, and it goes round and round. They make absolutely zero provisions to get that fan that's going around, that's the blower fan, out. It clogs up with gunk so bad it almost does not pass air through it. So I made a simple comment. Okay, I did the same thing on the Tesla thing too. I'm getting to be good at comments. I'm a comment professional. And I said, we need to boycott these mini split duct air conditioners until they make that blower removable. I should be able to take it out, hose it down, put it in, and have a fresh, brand new air conditioner. And the darn thing is made out of plastic. Okay? But you have to take the machine completely apart and off the wall to get that squirrel cage blower out. And it's not any bigger than that, about that round. Which camera am I on? Over here. It's about that big of a round. And I would say, would that be 2 feet? 2 feet long? Okay. And it just, it goes and it blows a nice amount of air. But it sits right under the coil, so the humidity or the drips from the coil drop on it. Probably humidity, because the drips from the coil drop in another pan. Now that pan you can clean, but this thing will clog up so bad, and it's the hole to get to it. You can see it so clearly. You can take the flashlight out of your pocket. Thank you, Sly. Okay, she's got me into flashlights. And you could see the blower, and it looks like it's been in there 40 years. I should just be able to flip a door open or a latch, pull it out, take it out with the garden hose it down. Oh, I made that comment. I must have gotten 250 responses. So I hit a nerve. They have made these things for years, and not a single one of them has made it with the idea of cleaning it in mind. How is that servicing your clientele? So Eric is laughing. I said something funny. That's cool. Norm shoots with no clothes on. He shoots raw. When I know the color has to be perfectly matched or the lighting is a challenge, you could touch up JPEGs if necessary. But over the years, I publish hundreds of images straight out of the camera. Now, you have that knowledge under your belt, but I bet you not many people in this room have that. I would bet you not many people that even consider themselves photographers have that. I shoot raw, and I never bother with JPEG. And the reason is I have a workflow. The card comes out of the camera, goes into the computer, now goes through Photomator, comes out with my process films, and it would be the same as putting a card in with all JPEGs, and I'm done. So with the JPEGs and you're done, that's great. Okay? But you have a talent that others don't, and that's worth a lot of money, Norm. How much you weigh? I'll get to sell you by the pound. And he likes AC/DC. I had AC/DC. As a matter of fact, I got into a nice little relationship with them, but they just never did what I wanted them to do, and I just stayed with Photoshop. Scotty is here. Just got in. Start over again. Where's my piano? Bum 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 bum. Ba da 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 bum bum bum. Ba da 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 bum bum. Bum. I got into another argument. I got into an argument with the Tesla folks. So Tesla this week, amongst everything else that went on in the world, for this whole week starting last Sunday, introduced in the city of Austin, Texas, they introduced the robo-taxi. So it was the introductory period was only for that city, and it was only by invitation. Okay, but you still had to pay. And it was a flat $4.20, and you can go anywhere you want, starting somewhere in Austin and ending somewhere in Austin. Okay, and there was people that was taking 50, 100 rides because they were making videos out of it. Okay. Now, what they did that pissed me off, and that's only because of my personality. So one of you guys might not get the flavor of what I want to say. I can't see somebody and stand next to them and not say, hey, or hi, how are you doing today? Okay. So because it was a rollout of the robo-taxi, what they did was they took existing Model Y cars. So this is not a car that's got radar. It doesn't look like it came from space like a flying saucer. It looks like a normal car. And it's the software 100%. Okay. But for their own safety's sake, they had a monitor ride in the passenger seat in the front, not in the driver's seat. The driver's seat was empty. So you're looking at a car going down the road, and there ain't no driver in the driver's seat. And there is no pedals. They didn't modify the car. No steering wheel, no pedals. It is just going to, one guy went to Popeyes, another guy went to the mall, another people went here, they went there, wherever they wanted to go. You know, it was anywhere within a locked geographical area, so you couldn't take the car and run to Miami with it and steal it, okay? But there was a monitor in the car, in the passenger seat. Now, here's what got me pissed off. They were not allowed to talk. So I'm going to get in the car. I'm going to be so excited. Oh, I'm going to get in a car. It's going to drive all by itself. This is fantastic, which is why I want a Tesla, by the way. Because if you buy a Tesla, you can get the full self-driving. And the only difference between the full self-driving and the robo-taxi is the robo-taxi will drive all by itself, no person needed. As a matter of fact, they're going to lock that area so you can't take the wheel and ram the car into the next lane. You can't touch the pedals. You can't do anything in the driving area. It'll probably be all disconnected. Okay? But in the passenger seat, they had a monitor. And you'd get in, you go, oh my God, this is so exciting. This is eerie. This car is going to drive itself. And if it was me with my personality, I'd say, hey, how you doing? You having a good day with riding with all those people? They weren't allowed to talk. And after I watched about 7 or 8 videos, that got me pissed off. How can I be so rude as to see all these different people and not say hello? And this is a Tesla employee. Now, from Tesla's point of view, chances are they were not allowed to talk because they didn't want the people, that guy that was sitting there, or the gal, and many times it was a lady, okay, and she had a button on in her hand for emergency stop in place, okay, if something went wrong. Nothing went wrong in any of them, okay, so they would just ignore. I saw a couple of them nodded like that. Now, this is the Tesla Corporation. Instead of giving them instructions where you could greet your passenger and say, I'm here to monitor only the car. You can record, you could do whatever you want, but you cannot speak to me. I'm not allowed to answer you back by the company's directive. So I'm not being rude. I am saying hello, but I'm not allowed to get into a conversation. Okay? Now, that would be so much more human, especially since you're trying to show off a machine that's going to take over a human's job. You're not going to let the human even speak. After a while, it took a little bit of time, I just got perturbed. So I wrote it down in the comments. I wrote down how rude it is to ride with somebody for 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 25 minutes, and not even say hello and not say goodbye. So you're going to, okay, we're here, and the car will tell you, please gather your stuff. When we come to a complete stop, please exit the vehicle. So some people just went, nice riding with you. I mean, you know, I would do that. I'm not going to put up with that bullshit. You know, I can't say hello. Come on. That's life for me to say hello to somebody else. You know? It's a Kleenex. So I wrote the comment, and man, if that comment didn't explode. So you'd think a company the size of Tesla could handle letting a person that's riding with you for 30 minutes, I'm going to round it out, up or down, to say hello and greet the person and say, I'm only here as a monitor. I'm not allowed to talk. I'm not allowed to get into a conversation on the robo-taxi. I'm not allowed to even do small talk, but enjoy your ride. And then the second part, all those people were YouTube content creators. You'd be amazed. Someone that doesn't have a script, that actually has to get in the car and say, we're now in the Tesla robotaxi, and we're going to take off. Man, they couldn't make a coherent sentence. I would say more than 65%. I was going to say more than half, but higher. Were so hard to listen to while they were riding in the taxi. They have no idea how to free talk. You take somebody like Sly, she was a little bit timid at the beginning, but boy, she could talk for 3 hours now, and she's entertaining the whole time through. These people that are actual YouTubers, thumbs down. I was shocked. These are professional. That's what they do, is YouTubes on Teslas. You take away their script, and they be lost. Not me. I'll talk to you for 4 hours. So Scotty's in. Where did you play tonight, Scott? And how did the audience react? Were they like distant and just listened like, Or was like, oh, yes, that's a great song. Eric says the batteries are on the charger for tomorrow's photo shoot for the live band shoot. Well, we're going to hear about that. So Jim is saying hi to Scotty. I'll give you $1. There it is. Scotty's saying hi to Jim. Subcultured. More videos, Grand Pete vlog. Grand Pete vlog. He calls me Grand Pete. Love that kid. Jim Monday. I like the idea of random videos on this channel. Mini tutorials are always great. They might not be tutorials. Be warned. It's going to take me a little time to tune it in because I'm not quite sure what I want to do. Gregory said that he's doing well. I think you putting up videos on your live channel is a good idea. They'll be pre-recorded. You understood that part, right, Greg? They're not going to be all live. The live is the Friday night. This is when we get together. You and me and a dog named Boo, okay? That's a song. And if it isn't, I think I'll write one. You and me and a dog. Wait a minute. I do have a chorus, I should say. You and me and a dog named Boo, loving and living off the land. That was a pretty good song, actually, if you remember it. So, subcultured. Kyle says, well, looks like I have photo. Did you just buy it now? Or was it already in your computer? Tell me. Did you just buy it now? Or did you have it in there and you're just discovering it? Woody says, Windows has a good editor on their, yep, they got one too, on their picture viewer that does a lot of things. Yes, they do. And what does, what's this? This is the Mac. What do they have? They've got Photos. This is called Photos. Love you, Peter and friends. I love you too, Louis. Yes, I do. Make more videos, Louis. Yeah, see, we want to see more of Louis. We love Louis. And Louis is saying subculture outcast. Absolutely. Thank you for the encouragement. And there's my buddy Mookie, who said he went to Thailand. I just made that up. Okay. Hello, at work, and I am just now tuning in. How are you doing? What time zone are you in? It's 11:12. Oh, we went over the hour. I guess time flies when you're having a good time. I hope everything is swell with everybody. I added the swell. It just says well. Good to see you, Mookie. Love you, buddy. Love you. Eric says, that is why I like Uber and Lyft. The joy of a taxi service is talking to the driver, being human. If you are a tourist looking out for local hotspots, that's great. Where can I go get a Carvel sundae? If you don't have Carvel in your area, it's sinfully delicious. ice cream. Matter of fact, I might have ice cream when I finish here. No, I shouldn't, because I've been doing good on my diet. Peter, you got a mouth like a Puerto Rican. It never stops. Gosh, do you think I was just insulted? Why Puerto Rican? They talk a lot. I'm a Greek. The Greeks talk a lot. Thunderstorms possible. Oh, Kyle, Subculture Overcast, does great job of videoing thunderstorms. He's the man with the master plan for the thunderstorms. It was cloudy with a down arrow. Scotty says he was at an outdoor gig at a boating club on a nice lake. So does the humidity or anything like that affect instruments, especially stringed ones? Well, your piano would be electronic, so you're not driving a piano around. But does anybody have a guitar and stuff like that? So, well, I've seen them here in Miami. They play it on the ocean. The audience was loving the oldies. Isn't that great? It was a very successful show. You got a thing about your doo-wah. I just can't live. You got a thing about you doo-wah. I just can't live without you doo-wah. I really love you, Eleanor. Love me. I love the old songs. They're better than the new ones. Oh, look, Scotty brought me to the end. So now starts my July 4th weekend week. There's a grill I want to get. Okay. And instead of lowering the price, they raised it. So what do? They're going to raise it to put it on sale for July 4th. So the normal price is $199. I'll tell you more about the grill in a second. But let me tell you what they did with the price. $199. And for the last 5-6 months, they give you $20 coupon, a lightning sale for $179. And I'm waiting for it to drop down to $159 because that's what my brother bought his for. So now they're on AliExpress for $149. But I no longer trust AliExpress. They screwed me. And it took me like almost 2 months to get the money back. And it was because the guy that was the individual seller on AliExpress was a jerk. You know, did everything he could to keep from giving me refund. Okay. So Kyle says, I have a Puerto Rican friend, and he'll turn blue and pass out before he'll stop talking. That's pretty funny. I bet you like talking to him, Kyle. You can get him on the phone for a long time. All right, guys. It looks like Randy has gone to sleep because normally when I say it's time to go, bye-bye, he will put in, Randy, wake up, buddy. Randy. He will put in, good night, everybody. Have a great week. Sing What a Wonderful World. What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong. Something is green and da-da-da-da. I don't know the words. I like the song, though. So, you guys, I love you. Definitely have a safe July 4th weekend. It's not your driving. It's the other guy that's going to cross the lanes, that's going to ram into somebody or T-bone them. Drive, if you're going to be on the road, drive like everybody's drunk. Just for the weekend, okay? Because I don't want to hear anything bad come 2 weeks from now. All right. Love you all. See you 2 weeks from tonight. Oh, God willing. There's Randy. I woke him up. This is how the show normally ends. Have a great week, everybody. Stay safe. Keep smiling. And cheers. Now we can officially go, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. I love you guys. What camera am I on so I can wave? I'm on the Lumix S5 Mark II. Good night. God willing, and the bridge isn't up, I will see you 2 weeks from now. And my goal is the sky and not the grave. Look down in the description, you'll see my, every time I have a t-shirt idea, I will be making a t-shirt and putting it there. And I will be wearing all these cool t-shirts. All right. Later, Gator. Bye.